Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by VtM Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobolds or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.magenpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with dark mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by Telsorian Games. Telsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been... Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtelsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut.
Good evening. The Reflection. Montreal. Montreal was to be the best opportunity at something better. The Night of Ashes readied the field for sowing. That's what I thought. I was wrong. Tremendously wrong. Montreal is not a fertile field. Montreal is a cliff face. Each kindred and kind attempt to climb. There are heights at which you can climb back down, but as you ascend, that option is taken away. All that remains is to climb or fall. The question is, when you do fall, and you will, can you survive the plummet? Feels like I've been falling for a long time now. We'll see who I hit, who I land on soon.
is me. Hello. That was a surprise intro. Ha ha ha. Thank you so much, Pope, for this, by the way. And thank you in advance for both Prax and Trooper, who are going to have their intros as well over the course of this season in the next 2 weeks. Because after, 6 seasons of Vampire the Masquerade, at some point I wanted to hear what was going on through the characters' minds. Hello everyone, I'm Simon at Wondering VtM. You see him pronouns. I will be the storyteller for this game tonight, but before we jump back into, well, the very same night that all of you came out of the underworld, I'll throw the mic. Oh, second night. That's second day. That's true. Night. I'll throw the mic up. This time, anyone who wants to take it, goes first.
Sure,
And, just
we're on a
pass it around.
theme.
Yep.
Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope will build on the internets, back here with Montreal by Night Crew, playing Arthur Porter. Both of us use he, him pronouns, and there are so many meetings which must occur.
That's why you
I'm
play
Trooper
TTRPGs.
SJP. It's true for meetings and shopping. I mean, that's what I do. I'm Trooper SJP, and I am playing Dixon, who is your no longer friendly, no longer neighborhood, but still a vampire. Never was anyway. How are you doing? I am happy to be here. I'm happy to be with this crew. We only have this episode and 4 more left, which seems to be inappropriate. I'm waiting for a last minute renewal from the networks. I feel like, I don't know, if people send in marshmallows or something over to Simon's place, that might fix it. That's how fans do. Anyhow, yeah, that's me. I feel like that's all I have to say, right? Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say. Pope gave us, so there's a thing. Simon gives us one of the traditions for each one of the seasons. His little intro gives us like a noun, and then Pope gave us a noun. So no, I have to figure out what my noun is going to be for when I do the intro in 2 weeks. But at least I've got 2 weeks to figure it out. It'll be a good noun. Maybe it'll be like marshmallow. No, that's a bad noun. I'll work on it.
We don't need an 80-foot tall walking marshmallow in Montreal.
But it might be delicious.
Not in a Sabat city. That's got to be like the cheap knockoff version of marshmallow. Hi everybody, I'm your friendly neighborhood Prax, at Dear Gentleman on Twitter, or Praxgorth as me before you see me around here on Twitch, and I get to play Florica Winters. Both of us use she, her pronouns. I am your friendly neighborhood Ravnos, and who's done absolutely nothing wrong in this entire campaign whatsoever, in any way, shape, or form. Hashtag not the Ravnos' fault. And it's apparently I have to figure out what the noun is for next week. Trooper said there's a theme. We're sticking with the theme, I guess. We'll find out.
Pope give us reflection. He just bounced out with reflection right there. So now he's given us the challenge, I'm afraid.
Yeah. So, let's get back into our game. There's a lot to be done tonight. Last session, you all came out of the underworld after a new pal, quote unquote. One Charlotte Milliner, helped by Folly and Nina, basically managed to wrestle you out of oblivion and back into the world of the corporeal, I guess. A lot of things happened in your absence. You were gone 5 weeks. We learned that in the meantime, Talathia Reynolds was found by Silvio and his gang in a sort of hangar off of the PT airport. And he had some info that he wanted to share with Lori regarding what happened. Also, the speakeasy / themed bar was going to open. You went over the last minute detail with Mei Lin, knowing now that the police commissioner should also show up there during the opening on December 31st, which is in about a week. Speaking of police commissioner, Arthur, after having worked towards it for months now, since September to December, now finally has a meeting with the police commissioner to try to. I mean, at this point, I don't know, Artie. Things have changed since you first asked for your meeting, so who knows? What do you need the cops for anymore? You also needed to go and speak with Santiago Vagos. And
I've got a lot of meetings. I need to drop off a tongue. I need to see our favorite member of the pyramid, Santiago, and who knows who else is going to put themselves in my night book.
And then
It's okay. You only have to see like vampires, except for the police commissioner. I've got stuck with a mob boss and Caleb. One of those two things is going to be fun.
But there was also a message from Zalmadi saying that he found probably a way to stow away and travel to Montreal. She was going to let you know more about Lori, and then we had Dixon moving into his new home, beginning his new life underground, just like a vault.
My fourth haven so far this campaign.
I'm sorry, every time Underground's mentioned, my mind immediately goes back to Ben Folds 5's song Underground.
Three and a half haven. I feel like one didn't really count.
This is Haven 3.5.
Yeah.
Which one doesn't count? The one that wasn't yours to begin with because you were rooming with people, or the container?
No, the container I paid points for. The house that I was living in, I paid points for. This one I paid points for. The truck that had a trunk in it that I would sleep in.
Right.
That one I didn't actually pay points for, but I lost that one too. So that is the only one that I did sleep there, but it doesn't really count as a haven because I didn't actually pay points for it.
Yeah, and it was your sort of backup solution.
Yeah, it was my backup, so that one doesn't count. But yeah, shipping container, actual home, and now mausoleum. I think that's all. That's good.
Is that moving
Haunted
up in the world or
death.
down in the world?
I think that's a sideways step.
Yeah.
Shipping
Prax is
container
right,
to
that's-
mausoleum is a side grade.
I know a lot of goth kids who would love to move into a mausoleum.
Well, it depends. What's the cell service and is it properly wired?
No,
Here's the thing.
and
I think
no.
I think it might actually be better to move into the mausoleum because a shipping container, you're always going to have to run the risk of somebody, longshoreman, possibly.
Oh, yeah, no. It was on the bottom of the St. Lawrence River, so no one was going to see it ever.
Then you have tidal problems.
It's pretty heavy. It's just that it was just a long journey to get from the bottom of the St. Lawrence River up and out, and it's
And
why I
filled
couldn't
with
actually have
water,
any
yeah.
and filled with water. That's why I
Also
couldn't have any
the
technology
smell.
with me. Don't smell. Don't breathe.
Olfactory senses are still a thing.
You don't have to breathe, though. That's the best part about being a vampire.
Yes,
There's
but
gross smells, you just don't breathe.
Yeah, but if
Don't
you
smell.
don't know that you smell, then you don't know that other people can smell you.
That's why, you know what? I'm not living there right now. It's fine. I'll just say it was a whole process of like, I don't get to have books here.
Hobo
I'm
Dixon
just-
smelling like fish is probably something that we could
Oh,
consider normal.
I'm sorry. As a responsible adult here, I'm future-proofing for our fans. Wear deodorant.
He's been homeless for quite a few months. He didn't smell great anyway. You know what I mean? Like, he's not had a place to stay for a while.
To whoever watching right now who want to cosplay Dixon in the future, Dixon wears deodorant for some reason.
But I was getting a bath every day.
That's also something that a lot of people at cons don't. Anyway. So we have a very, very busy agenda tonight for our Kindred. Like we did for our intros, I don't have any preferences. You all have meetings that are basically scheduled ASAP. I can start with any one of you. Who would like to test the waters first?
I have a very short one.
Okay, mine's faster than yours. I was already on my way to the Haven. I'm just going to go there and then spend the night digging out the tunnel and setting up. I don't have, because I can't have meetings with people until I retrieve my bodies and the stuff. Yeah. So I'm just going to, I've got to go get the bodies that I'd stashed in a hole, bring them back into the other hole, dig out more of the hole.
So we can leave Dixon alone for the night.
Yeah. But I will put the poster of the little kitten saying "hang in there." That one's definitely going up there. Wait, no, not that one. But I could have in a different world. Just a little. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right then. Arthur.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by devotional posters in the mausoleum. I'm just having a moment. Okay, yeah, no, I'm ready.
Oh, and the little babies, the cabbages, like what's her face, Belle Geddes, what's her face, and the angel babies, the little babies with angel wings.
Yeah, and we need to go with the hallmark, like little keepsake ornaments around. Yeah.
Yeah, and then super 90s magic eye posters, that too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's the name of that one illustrator that did a lot of something? Not Orwell. It's
George Orwell. Sure.
No, it's not George Orwell. It's
yeah, just a big 1984 poster right there.
No, he was like a
H.R.
painter
Geiger?
in the 60s, I think. No.
Oh,
he did stuff that were like
Geiger would
Jackson
be
Pollock.
the other mausoleum.
Never mind.
Jackson
I'll
Pollock?
find it during break. The joke doesn't stick if I forget the person. But we have like two of his things here.
I have a quick one after we move away from Dixon's home renovations. I'm certain
I just want to point out
be picked up on HGTV.
I do think that out of all the things I've done and said in the entire campaign, probably the Precious Moments figurines and the babies as angels is probably the most disturbing out of all of them. I'm glad that I could do that. Thanks.
Yeah.
There you go. Found his name. Anyway, moving on.
On that note, I have a tongue to deliver.
Yes, you do. And so you make your way to the University of Montreal. There.
I thought the tongue was for somebody else.
Oh no, that was the papers, the stuff that Valois asked.
Papers are for Valois. Like the tongue specifically is for our favorite anarch.
Yes. So it's driving to the Olympic Stadium.
Yes, and we're with all the business that's happening tonight, and also just being in a mood. We're taking the Silver Shadow out, the old Buick, and yeah, we'll drive out there, say hi to guard dogs, guard children, whatever, and then go and see the gang roll.
When you happen upon Yuma in his haven tonight, he's arguing-ish with a group of younger anarchs. You've seen them sometimes like at the edge of their gang, not really with the in crowd that much, and he's berating them on the fact that one of them seems to have, from what you can hear, like echo along the corridors as you walk down the hallway to get to the closed off exhibit that he uses as his haven. Let's say it's Masquerade Breach adjacent. Basically, you know, he's berating them, saying things like, well, good never no one saw you doing it. And like the next time you feel like punching a hole through a wall, I can at least make sure it's drywall. The 4 anarchs leave just as you walk in. They 2 of them make it a point to sort of just bump in your shoulder.
Oh. The first one I'll let pass. The second one, I'm in a mood. I will grab by the throat and go, young one, not today.
Just hear Yuma shouty ha! In the back. When you grab them by the throat, the other 3 sort of almost instinctually turned around. Crows. Fangs beginning to bear, and then as soon as you release them, they kind of see in your expression that you're not one to be fucked with right now. And
I will turn you all into fucking furniture. Get lost.
they walk away in a hurry, but trying to keep their cool.
Oh, and Chubby, you got proper cushioning already. I don't have to work too hard on you.
What got you in a mood?
Surviving.
Is that what you've been doing for the last month?
It was a day for me, but apparently a month for everybody else.
I do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily need to, spend a month in the underworld, but here we are.
Yuma's eyes narrow at that. What do you mean, underworld?
I found our face-wearing friend, who was also a Diablerus impersonating a member of the tower, and he decided to pull off a magic trick before his head was swiftly removed from his body, which dragged us all into the underworld.
Typical cammies. I bet they even vetted the guy. If you were to ask them before anything happened, they would have said he's probably clean of any wrongdoing.
Yeah,
and of course,
well,
it's typical of them to house a Diablerist and more in their midst. If you don't mind me asking, though, there's not a whole lot of cammies in town. Ooh.
Baldy McFancy Pants, the lieutenant of the lick that calls himself the Prince.
Ooh. Oh, that's a shame you had to behead him. That... Such a good chip to use, though. Well, I don't suppose you're here for that.
No, you made a request after agreeing to give me information that I need and a contact, and I pay my debts. Here's the tongue you asked for.
He approaches to take it from your hands, and he goes, I don't know why I was expecting something less beef jerky. Well, I guess he puts it in his shirt pocket. Well, mine now.
Yeah. There was a lot of weird shit down there. Weird even by my standards.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm gonna stop trying to make the voices. I can't do it
Yeah.
tonight. But Yeah, last time I was there, let's just say that I wasn't a big fan of their material of choice.
Yeah, I can get that. Not everyone has the same aesthetics, but
It's
no.
one thing to flex your monstrosity, I guess. It's another one to make it tacky.
It was tacky. But then again, look who was in charge. Speaking of which, and also downstairs, ran into a science fair project. Some licks got their hands on a lichen before it had its first turn. Turned it into a nasty piece of work. I have a feeling that if that was something to be found down there, there is probably a group of them somewhere nearby that is likely holding a grudge. I don't
Roll
want
wits and
your.
insight.
Certainly.
This will be best described by Yuma has a micro reaction. Much you can make of that micro reaction.
3 successes.
3 successes. He's got the tongue of Jarvis, right? So technically now
Yeah.
he can lie as much as he wants, and you won't be able to notice it.
No.
The tongue doesn't extend to facial expressions. Yuma knows what you're talking about, and he tried very quickly to sort of regain his composure, but there was that little, like that sliver, that crack in his
So
face. Yeah.
the rumors about the lichens being nearby are true. And if you're already having to chastise the little ones about something as obvious as punching through a wall, you're going to need to pull their leash real tight and sit them down and teach them a firm lesson. Because we cannot have, them making enough noise that our furry neighbors come onto the fucking island.
They're not going to come on the island. Last time they did, well, you saw what remained of them.
Unless a very clear example is given, it is my experience that they live almost as long as us and hold a grudge twice as hard as we do.
Oh, yeah, I can answer that right away. They're not immortal. That person you met down there, depending on who they were, could be my great aunt or one of my cousins.
Well, still, I'd rather play things safe considering, everything else is going sideways.
I say they wouldn't come back on the island. Let me rephrase that. So long as they think that we're in control of the island, they won't set a foot on it.
Well, the tower's doing a bang-up job of making that look like not the case.
Yeah. Let's just say if other people were in power, perhaps it could, I don't know, show a unified front, but who am I to say anything?
All my political ambitions have been set on fire, and then pissed on, and set on fire again. So...
That's kind of what the island will do to you.
Yeah. Right now, I'm pretty much in crisis control mode. I care about a few things, and one of them is making certain that those indiscretions by your youngins and the indiscretions that are obviously going to be made with the tower pretty much going, it's free season, I'm embracing. are under some fucking form of control.
Yeah. You might want to take a seat.
Coming from you, that's fucking awful. What the hell happened?
Remember those cops
Which
you
ones?
called down? That pair of archons.
Yeah, did something happen to them or did they fuck off?
One or the other, but they're no longer here.
Well, let's hope for our cases they just turned tail and fucked off. Because if they got nabbed, there's going to be reprisals.
We don't know what is or what would be the worst.
Oh no, I know what the worst is. Fuck. I gotta go and find to see if they actually, are dead. Great, that's another thing on my list.
I didn't ask you to look into anything.
No, but if perhaps my sire all of a sudden got her claws into them and decided to, on my way to becoming a great and dread being, I'm just going to eat these two for funsies. Which would totally be her thing. I mean, eating a Toreador is like having caviar. Fuck.
You've got a fucked up family, Arthur.
You don't say.
Well, thanks for the jerky.
You're welcome. Hopefully, we all survive whatever next calamity's coming. But in the meantime, I have a few more meetings to go to, and hopefully, I will have some good news for the community on the broad front. I have a meeting with the commissioner. Hopefully, I can make it so that when the weird shit happens, it gets brushed under the fucking doormat. Otherwise, it's regardless, I want to hear about it, so I'll know who fucked up.
Well, you need any support whatsoever? You're going up against the tower, I guess we can probably
I am not going
make
up
you a
against
deal.
the entire fucking tower. What I am going up against is Caleb, who is awfully happy about someone going downstairs, and that disturbs the fuck out of me. Also, he's not playing nice with the other locals, and that pisses me the fuck off. That and finding out that the lick that's calling himself Prince is my sire's associate's childer doesn't sit right with me. People are getting kidnapped by that fucker's sire. It's a fucking mess. And right now, most of the mess is being caused by people who weren't local to this fucking island when I got here. And so if I can just get the majority of those licks plus Caleb off the fucking island, I think it'll be a better place.
Yuma just smirks and replies, none of this would have happened in an anarch-free state.
No, in an anarch-free state, there will have been 2 riots, a bunch of kind-led crackdowns on corruption, and 2 of you ending up dueling to the death over who gets to reign over the ashes.
I don't know where you got your history notions from, but
I got it from the first Anarch Revolt.
he grumbles something as a response, but it's mostly just noise at this point. Just like a grunt and a growl mixed together.
the first one of you anarchs that realizes that top-down leadership is not the way forward and it requires a committee will all of a sudden get a gift card for a steakhouse and a handshake from me. Now, till next time, I'll see you around.
All right. And he waves you off. Starts fiddling with the tongue as you leave his the exhibit.
I over my shoulder. It's not a damn squeaky toy. Put it away.
And with that, let's pan elsewhere on the island and let's see what Flory. Which of the meetings did you want to attend first?
To my recollection, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't currently have access to all of my notes, but to my recollection, the meeting with
Silvio is at 8.
but Silvio's at 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes, but the
meeting with Caleb is I dropped Charlotte off with Casimir and on the way to meet Caleb because the Caleb meeting is that was a conversation I didn't want to get him out of bed for.
Yeah. Let me just rephrase that because I had it on the 21st. He asked to meet tomorrow, but that's not true. It's the 23rd.
Yeah.
So it's Caleb tonight.
Yeah, so it's Caleb tonight. Only one phone call. So that's where she's so she left Charlotte with Casimir, and she like kind of does that check the rear view mirror for the probably awkward moment of the two of them getting back into the RV for the night or wherever they're gonna do. Have fun.
Yeah,
with
the
them.
RV will take off and drive a bit further away from downtown and most of the like populous areas of the city.
Yeah, so then she's heading to Caleb asked to meet, but to my recollection it wasn't at his office. It was somewhere else.
Yeah, he wanted to meet face to face. Never specified a place yet. But said that you needed to basically whatever it is that you needed to talk about could not be done over the phone or over text messages.
Okay. So then she would call him in the car and be like, where do you want them? Where are we going?
I feel like going out, but not to a too crowded place. Say, the La Fontaine Park.
Okay, so...
So it's a park off of downtown, by the way. It's just a big park. It's got, like, bike paths going through it. Very
I feel like I
wooded.
know that park.
Yeah, I feel like we've been there.
No, I
La
think I've been
Fontaine-
there.
La
Yeah, it might be
Fontaine,
it.
no, because the one that you've been to... No, actually, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
I've been there.
close to where your haven is.
Hate that. Why is this guy all up in my business?
Look, we're talking about werewolves. It's not about you.
Caleb. Just watching Caleb.
I mean, he's the least creepy person I can meet right now.
But I don't know if that's true.
Basically,
Folly's way less creepy.
He says, behind the elementary school, there's a patch of flat ground. They play volleyball there in the summer, whatever. Meet me there.
All right. And she just hangs up. So she will park, like, walking distance away.
Mhm.
And use her passives to appear very discreetly.
There's a handful of people tonight at the park. Not a whole lot. We are in December. It's cold. And as long as there's not, 3 feet of snow, the wind chill is just horrible. So most people that you do cross are basically, in a hurry to get somewhere.
That's why I have an LL Bean coat. And duck boots.
You and Caleb are the only people, I would say, in this area, at least when you reach them. There are no more pedestrians, no more kind walking about or sleeping on a park bench or anything of the sort. And Caleb is basically just hanging out, not in the middle of the open area. He's a bit to the side. He's basically by a street light. It's got a park bench next to it and a trash can, and he's pretending to smoke and fiddle on a phone. He looks livelier than usual. The blue veins are semi-hidden. He's got some color to his skin. But he's still not breathing, a little too stiff to completely pass off as human.
So I take it dinner was good.
Can't complain.
Mm. And she'll just take a second to case the area to see how many of his guys are nearby.
You give me... Let's go with intelligence and awareness in this case.
Can I... Okay.
You've been hanging out enough, or you have at least met with Caleb enough and been long enough in Montreal to sort of get a bead on how things are done.
2 successes.
2 successes. Do you want to reroll anything with willpower?
You know what? I will reroll 3 of those, because that's not good,
Not good odds? Yeah.
Okay, so 3 successes.
3 successes. He is alone.
Okay. So.
I heard you went someplace interesting in the last month.
Oh, interesting. And she kind of hops up onto the back of the bench so that she's kind of sitting on the back of the bench and leans forward and goes, interesting. Underworld, not my definition of interesting. But I told you there were creepy werewolves on this goddamn island.
There are?
Well, not
or
that
there
well,
were.
There were. The one that we chased off when your friend Nathaniel started the shooting and the stabbing at the cops. And then the one that looked like it had a really bad day with a bunch of Samish.
Concerning.
Deeply.
I'll have some of my people scour the... Where did you find them? Underground? Sewers?
He was
Subway station?
hanging... Sewers. Not quite the sewers. On the way to your old haunt. He was hanging out with a guy with made a bunch of coat of faces. By the way, that's number 2 on my list of members of your dear little entourage of their princelings entourage that have turned into horribly not who they were expected to be.
I take it you're talking about Mr. Johnson. He vanished about a week or so ago.
No, he pulled us into the underworld. And then turned into being a creepy, creepy Lilith worshipper. Don't worry, he's very dead. It's really hard to be reanimated when you lose your head and your spine in the underworld.
Good. Good.
That's number 2. Your vetting process really isn't working for you, is it?
I'm not the one who decided that Mr. Johnson would be the prince's right hand. The prince.
Or
His
who's
Highness.
ever riding him.
His Highness is above the law, isn't he?
But if he really isn't His Highness, then is he actually above his law? Did anyone, place a phone call to Paris?
It's a tad more complicated than that.
I mean, I know people I can call Paris. I know like 6 people I could call in Paris. Wouldn't necessarily
Call
get us all the
them,
information.
yes, but getting to Prince Villon is a lot more complicated.
Why do I feel this is because something went horribly, horribly wrong in that Sabbat underground?
There's a lot of things happening in Paris and London.
Look, my rule for London is stay the fuck away from Mithras. You don't need to piss him off. I have a firm rule about that. I skipped that entire fucking island.
Speaking of rules and old vampires that we shouldn't piss off.
What's
Anything
now?
else interesting down there?
Depends on how you define interesting.
I care very little about the baubles and the books and the statues and the faces in the walls.
Oh, so you don't care about the number of statues I defaced. Good to know.
Most of them depict kindred that no... Sorry, he wouldn't have said kindred, he would say Cainite. That no longer exist.
Now, to be fair, 2 of them, one of them I killed a month ago, a month and a half ago, so they were still alive and kicking a month and a half ago. She deserved it, though.
Now Simon's wondering, which one again? 'Cause it's not Mercy.
It was, no, it was,
Oh, Valois, yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Who I put an ice pick through her throat.
Yes.
Well, I put an ice pick through his throat and then diabolized her and had her HelloFreshed.
Not diablerized her, just drank her.
Just drank her into torpor and then HelloFreshed her.
So aside from Mr. Johnson and statues of departed, you wouldn't have happened to find any other of our kind that are more intact, would you?
Well, about 6 wraiths.
Whites, you mean?
Yeah, sorry. That was Deirdre screwing up.
Okay. Because, Underworld and all that could have.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Whites. 6 whites. That was Deirdre screwing up.
Tell me about them.
They're very, very crispy. Haven't you seen that movie, The Mummy? It's like they weren't even juicy.
I do not
Look,
watch pictures.
You need to... You're stuck underground. You need to watch these things. At least so you can know what their people are expecting us to be like. So you don't act like it.
I have a lot more things that need my attention than...
Look, I can tell you that there were a bunch of whites. What are you looking for, Caleb?
There used to be a cabal of Cainites down underground.
They're like Okay, move on.
One of their members, one of their priestess, I guess you can call her that, was Mr. Dixon's sire.
Okay.
You wouldn't happen to have reunited Mr. Dixon with his long-lost family, would you?
No. Caleb, why does he interest you?
It's not him that interests me, it's the Cabal. And the fate of its members.
Okay. Is this somebody I'm going to have to look out for to make sure I don't end up on the creepy side? Look, I have a rule. I stay away from people who are doing those kind of things. It's very important to my safety. So, like, what kind of cabal are we talking about? Because we've got somebody downstairs who's, turning a, a lupine into a killing machine that's half the size of a city block.
Oh, that would be the other member.
Name, description. Look.
She used to go by the name of Stephanie. Same family as Mr. Porter. An oddity amongst her clan. She greatly enjoyed playing with fire, to the point where she inured her body to it. The
Okay.
cardinal wanted to use her as a very blunt siege weapon against his enemies. A bomb that he could deliver in just about any city that he wanted to take control of or destabilize. This never came to pass, of course, because lo and behold, a bomb did go off in Montreal. Except Stephanie was not among those destroyed. And so I know that in some capacity she is still there.
Okay. So I'm looking for a Samish, a Bruja who will practice actual coven magics.
It's the closest explanation I think I've ever had of who they were, yes. Now,
And
I do not want them dusted,
okay.
but it is imperative that His Highness is not made aware of the whereabouts of these.
So you just want me to get them out of the city? That's not hard. I do that all the time.
Unfortunately, the one called Stephanie cannot leave the island.
Like physically cursed, or like you really need her for like the wire transfer codes to her bank account? Like, which are we talking here?
We're talking curse. Power
Oh,
comes
hey.
with price, and the price is a tie to the island.
Ah, she blood bonded herself to
I
the
don't
bedrock.
know. I do not know the extent of what she did or how she did it. That coven was always secretive, even for me.
So, you want me to act as an intermediary, get on these nice ladies' good side, introduce you as what?
Oh, they
Friend,
know me.
Patriot, ex-lover, bad breakup?
They simply need to know that I am in one piece, I guess is the closest parallel I can draw. I'm not alive anymore. But
She
once-
wants to. Can I insight check how much he cares? Like, that line is
Yes.
Very particular.
Can you give me manipulation and insight?
I can do that.
And that would
Not
be a
well,
difficulty
but-
4.
Yeah, it's not going to go well, but
You can always roast the blood. You can always, you know.
she's. I mean, I think I will actually rouse. Yeah. Okay, so I'm a little peckish, but that's going to give me 2 more dice.
Mhm.
Because that particular phrasing is very, very particular. 5 successes.
Nice. He is circling around the drain. He's being evasive as
Mhm.
best he can, but you can actually see that Caleb right now is not in control.
Mm-hmm.
His composure has failed him. He's maybe a little too eager. Like, not as a, from what you can get with 5 successes, it's not an eagerness like a malicious or vicious eagerness. It's more like child on Christmas morning eagerness.
So you want them to know you're alive.
Yes. And you have your phone with you, don't you?
Always have my phone with me. What do you want?
Put it down, turn it off.
It already was. She's gonna take it out and show him that she doesn't have her phone on. She was not going to meet Caleb with her phone on.
This stays between you and I.
I don't share secrets.
What I love about dealing with you, Ravnos, and the others. The tower cannot, under any circumstances, know about the existence of the members of that coven.
Okay.
That is especially true of His Highness, who would react in a catastrophic way.
His Highness or Val?
Oh, Arthur's boogeyman of a sire. No. Valois Hilkers, especially. That coven wielded power that would be a little too attractive to Mr. Hilkers. Or to Mr. Saw.
What's
I
that
do-
little shit princeling going to do with that kind of power? He can't do anything. He's too young, out of control.
No, he's
And-
just going to make mistakes. Mistakes that at some point I will not be able to fix.
Look, you really need to get paid more if you're attempting to take out the trash for that little shit.
One thing at a time.
I know the line is that, the king shits and the hand cleans it up, but come on.
If you have found them, tell me. If not, find them and then tell me. And if they no longer exist, help me. That last line sounded a little too close to a threat.
Are you threatening me if they're dead, or do you because I don't deal with killing the messenger for bad news shit.
Did you do anything to them while you were down there?
I did nothing to anybody that you could possibly think of would be related to that coven. I did murderize the fuck out of a giant twisted as fuck werewolf. I did deface the, personification of a shitty Ventru. Was she a Ventru?
Who?
The Valois.
Oh no, shit. She was a. Give me a second.
Because that's the thing, she's not really Valois' child. She was just his.
No, she was like
Yeah, his.
I'm not gonna
his
say
protege.
adopted, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
it's she is
Because she got involved with the circulatory system.
yeah. I just need to get the name of she is the various packs. Here, okay, her name was it Mary Elaine?
I believe it was Mary Elaine, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Marie something, unfortunately. Let me just open them all. Nope. Okay.
When you make your DM, go digging through all of his notes.
That's not her. Yeah, Marie Elaine Dutois. Yep.
Yeah.
And she was a Ventru.
Yeah, so the shitty bad Ventru who decided to play with the circulatory system in Ontario, I defaced her statue. Really stupid. Took her sword, by the way. Took a bunch of books, found a bunch of whites. Nobody meeting any descriptions that you have given me so far. Did help pull a guy's spine up of his, head, decapitate, spine, no more. Oh yeah, and survived. I would like to preface this with a survived an extended period in the underworld and dealing with oh crap, Deirdre has forgotten the name, not the Zalit, because it wasn't a Zalish, it's what was the stupid...
the Vod.
The Vod.
Come on, Vode.
Vode.
That's how you remember it.
Vode. Yes.
Yes, I needed to ask. How did you survive the underworld? You don't strike me as a necromancer.
I got very lucky at piecing together two shitty paintings on a wall. There's one, there's this one, this is the only one with color, but they match exactly the same. Played a bunch of tic-tac-toe with the damn thing, and then said, push buttons!
Do you want to make a roll for that? Give me, in this case, give me composure and subterfuge.
This will be hilarious.
I don't appreciate how he's talking to Flory. I'm just going to note it, just for the record. I don't like his attitude towards her. He should be more respectful. I don't like it. I'm not biased.
I'm going to use the willpower to re-roll those two,
Sure.
just because you never know, right? You never know.
That's
But
two
I'll
more
take-
successes.
Those 3 successes.
Yeah, at 3 successes, he looks slightly amused by your explanation on how you got out of there. I always did wonder how the secret doors worked.
I mean, honestly, there were this creepy dude with smoky hands, and then there's a creepy on the exact opposite side. There's more creepy dude with smoky hands, but some of them are red and some of them are not. It's like, oh, whole bunch of buttons. It's like breaking into a safe.
Those are not the paintings that were in the temple.
Well, that's what they looked like after we got sucked into the underworld. The whole environment changed. It got weird.
That's one thing that I never expected the Cardinal to be able to do, but...
I would also like to ask this question, because, you spent more time with him than I did. How did such a Ventru pass as a Samish so long?
He never was a Samish, he never pretended to be.
Then how did we end up with all of this? Huh. Okay, because that was really weird. Mr. Talkie Johnson place, who was really not Mr. Johnson, but somebody else, because, the whole melting of the face thing, that was a little weird. It wasn't a Samish melting of the face, but it was like a dispelling. Couldn't quite tell you, but, wearing that coat of faces kind of thing. May have been a Samish. He was very convinced that the Cardinal was a Samish.
He never
Like,
was.
to the point that he was like, oh, he gave up of himself and he should have understood and worshipped Lilith, and there was a whole preaching about Lilith going on. Look, I understand people's religious choices. I don't always agree with them, but I understand that people can have religious choices. But when you pull me into the underworld, I no longer am willing to tolerate your religious choices.
Caleb becomes silent for a bit, and he paces around the street lamp for a few beats. Miss Winters, has Mr. Johnson ever specified the name Lilith, or did he just mention a female figure?
Ooh, now this is a question. He didn't use the name, but it was really obviously all the preaching that you get from Lilith shitheads. She who must not be named, she who, and then, because that's correct, right? Johnson didn't actually use the name Lilith, but he
never ever used the name Lilith, yeah.
Goddess.
He called her a goddess.
Yeah, he called a lot of things, but he never said the word out loud.
Yeah.
The L word.
Love? I feel like Caleb knows about that.
Well, I feel like Caleb knows a lot of interesting things at the moment.
And speaking of, when you answer him, Caleb goes, that Simish in the coven, Stephanie.
Okay. Lady Fireball?
Yes.
That we're going with? Okay.
You are probably familiar with a lot of fine folklore surrounding witches and the like.
Oh, really?
I'm just making sure. Who knows? Memoriam is a thing. One of the power that a lot of kind attributed to witches was how they could ensorcel men and make them see things that were not there. Often enough made the witch herself appear bigger than nature, grander. I mean,
that's really not hard. I could do that too.
It is a power that Miss Stephanie had, and we are not talking about our vampiric disciplines.
Oh, she liked to seduce men and make them do things for her. I respect that.
To a strange extent. Imagine all
Charlie Manson's strange extent, or, Cher's strange extent, because those are two different extremes here.
Unfortunately, in all of kind history, there's about only one, and I doubt they were an actual kind, but there's only one name who had that effect on people. And his name was Jesus. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Elvis.
No.
Okay, so you're going with the Judeo-Christian Messiah figure. That's actually not the only one that had that same effect, by the way. I would like to point out that Confucius and Buddha also had that same effect.
I tend to steer clear of the East.
Yeah, I know. My family takes a trip every now and then, but...
John Cena. That would have been fucking amazing. I'm sorry. No. Imagine appearing as a sort of messianic figure even without meaning to. I don't know how the Coven did it. Even the other members, to some extent, Dixon's sire among them, were able to move entire crowds of people, mine mostly, sometimes kindred, through nothing but mundane words and appearances. Cults do form around the silliest things. When you are a creature like us, some cults are laughable.
And some turn into Jonestown.
Like I said, laughable.
Caleb, you do remember what happened at Jonestown, right?
It's one of the many times that kind killed themselves over some
No.
silly ideal.
No, Caleb. It was the first time that an entire group of people willingly committed mass suicide. Willingly is questionable, but the majority committed, drank the Kool-Aid, quite literally.
Happens.
Yes, it happens more and more frequently now, but you need to remember...
Even before, I have seen
I mean,
them.
usually most of the charismatic leaders of the pre-20th century were really into getting people to die for them in, like, crusades.
A lot of the Semish in
jihad.
Eastern Europe had this ability to make people kill themselves in order to attain an embrace that never happened.
Yeah, but they were all going off of doing something, not just this belief that, other things.
No.
Anyway. Okay, so anyways, messianic creepy cult that they wanted to lead to the deaths of millions, and you what?
Oh, I'm just saying.
You want to worship her? You want to fuck her? I need. Where are we going with this?
The reason why I need to find the Coven is none of your business. You're a mercenary, you work for pay, I can pay you.
I can indeed be paid. And I probably will be. But, Caleb, we're friends. I don't ask questions about your personal business. The only reason I am asking is I need to know a certain level of how much pressure to apply to these individuals when I meet them. Is this a kidnap them for their own good and get them away from creepy cult lady? Is this a let them know that you're okay, take any messages that you might want to hand over, bring them back? Or is this a find that they're okay, stay far the fuck away from them, and just let them know? These are sliding scales of importance here, do you understand?
The last one.
If they hear your name, how likely am I to get shot?
Unlikely.
Okay, so I don't need Kevlar. See, this is how the conversation is going, not because I worry about your business. I really couldn't give a shit. But because I need to protect myself.
You don't need to fear them if you approach them politely.
That's good. I mean, the sliding scale of the number of people who are, I love how you put that politely out tagged on there. Very interesting. Like, I couldn't be polite. I am a very polite person. But this sliding scale of people in Montreal recently that are into murderizing people and hiding their prerogative to do so. I mean, look, I'm a very simple person. You hire me, the person ends up dead. Right? That's what happens.
Well, in this case, they're already dead.
Well, they could be even more dead. Nathaniel Simmons is more dead. What's his name? The shithead in the movie theater. He's very more dead. Like 60 other people are more dead after meeting me. But yeah, he's a real shithead, by the way. But, you know, I'm glad to know that this is not a concern that I need to have. And if I find them, I'll let you know.
Good. There will be a great recompense if you do.
All right. I have a favor to ask you, though. Not a favor, but a favor. You know what I mean? Not a favor, but like a kind of conversational favor. You kind of glossed over the fact that Val is in this city in our brief conversation just a minute ago.
Did I?
You said, "Oh, Val, not a worry. You know, Artie's boogeyman of a sire."
Because Artie has been crying wolf for the past 6 months.
Just because he's paranoid doesn't mean she really isn't out to get him.
No. Who doesn't
given-
have family issues?
Yeah, but these particular family issues, I mean, to be fair, my family is actually pretty kind of okay. My family issues are, you know, we all, if we don't pay attention, burst into flame. But for the most part, my family's okay. There are always, you know, the one or two that you're like, they're a cousin. We don't have to claim them. They're, you know, my mother's cousin's second time removed. We deal with them. They're fine. But for the most part, they're pretty okay. No, I'm concerned that you're brushing it off because, multiple people have told you, Caleb, that we have seen this prince be ridden by this Samich. So I'm concerned about you, Caleb.
There's nothing to be concerned about. The prince may be the puppet of just about whoever. I mean, I am more concerned about your friend, the prince's sire.
I don't have any friends that are involved with the tower, so...
But you do bear a lot of baggage with one. Give me a sec, I forgot Mehmet. Mr. Benizzi.
I mean, I'm looking forward to putting a bullet through his brain and then ripping his throat out. But Caleb...
I'm listening.
You just told me you're not concerned that a Samish may possibly be influencing the prince of this city and running the Primogen. So I'm very concerned about who you are right now.
You only need to concern yourself with the task at hand.
No, I really don't. And she's gonna unclick the safety of the gun that she's got in her pocket.
And he vanishes. Like, from under the street lamp, just in one blink, there's just a bit of snow.
So, from my perspective, and based on what my skill set is, is that a speed or a obfuscate?
It is not a speed. You would have seen, like, tracks. It's more of an obfuscate thing. Mind you, you know, he's been pacing around the streetlight for a while now, so he's, of course, has made, you know,
a lot of tracks
in, all around.
But she would look beyond them to see.
Yeah, there are no tracks that are leaving away from there.
So you didn't go very far. And now I don't usually concern myself with these things. But I hate being lied to about who I'm talking to.
I just need to look at something. No, that's fine. That's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, okay, sure, cool. Oh, yeah, okay, okay. Sorry, no roll in this case, because you're not a human.
Oh, I'm not a human, so I don't get to roll against this?
No, because if you were human, you get to roll, and if you fail, you even forget that he existed.
Okay, no. I know he was there. And she's gonna get up from where she was sitting on the back of the bench, click the safety back on the gun, which she hasn't drawn, right? Like it's still in just the front pocket of the like over the head like hoodie shirt that she's wearing under the that she had the open collar the LL Bean coat open. And she's just gonna crack her neck and start walking, and she's not hiding herself as she starts walking out. And she goes, "Not until you tell the truth do you find out answers that she wants." Should have paid more attention about the books, not Caleb. And she's going to get in the car. And the first call she is going to make is to Artie.
Artie comes out of the of Yuma's haven when your phone rings.
Oh, this ain't good. I wasn't expecting you to call so soon. What's wrong?
Somebody decided to impersonate Caleb.
Ole, what now?
That's what I said.
Are you sure it wasn't just Caleb being an asshole?
He said, "Oh, I'm not concerned about Artie's boogeyman of a sire. I don't know that she's actually in this city. She's just acting paranoid."
Well, that could be Caleb being an asshole, or it could be somebody impersonating the sheriff. Not entirely certain.
No, given the rest of the conversation, likelihood is leaning towards less of Caleb being an asshole. And you can tell her accent has changed. It's that clipped kind of English.
Yeah. Well,
Caleb doesn't usually divulge personal information when he wants me to do something. Or express emotion. There we go. And
what did he
considering
want?
Oh, he wants knowledge and information that I didn't give him. Because he's concerned and emotionally tied to the individuals who that might possibly still be undead, including the human torch that's in your, well, in the company of somebody else.
If Caleb or not Caleb is interested in others and wants them to still be amongst the community, yeah, that sounds more like Val.
See, here's the thing. Caleb being concerned about individuals and wanting to make sure that they're still alive and letting me know to tell them he's still among the undead, that's one thing. That's a pretty simple messenger mission, standard search and locate.
Yeah.
Caleb has paid me for that before. Caleb
Yeah.
being concerned and expressing that concern to me.
Not his bag. Got it.
Caleb then, after multiple times of you and I confirming the fact that the prince that he is in contact with is not who they purport to be. Whether or not their Val is an entirely separate issue, but who they purport to be, and he is not concerned with that. Well, he's not that incompetent as a sheriff.
Flory, I got other news. Spoke with our favorite gangrel. The Anarchs are missing.
How many?
Well, not Anarchs. The Archon. Yeah, the Archons are missing.
Fine, I'll add them to my list of people to find.
I'll cut you a check here in a little bit.
The
But
city sucks. I want you to know that.
At this point, I just need confirmation of whether or not they have actually returned to other parts, or have they become, part of a ritual sacrifice of ascension, whether she snacked on them already or is keeping them in cold storage.
I mean, she might not be the only one who's keeping them around.
Well, there's a number of folks that would love to have those two on ice just for emergencies.
Yes, one thing I do agree with, however, if you have not spoken to our least favorite member of the pyramid yet.
No, I have not talked with Prince Charming.
He's not even Prince Charming, he's Gaston.
Gaston's got better pecs.
And maybe better hair. But,
definitely better hair.
Fair.
Valwall strikes me as a man that only goes to see a professional once a month.
Don't let Valois know about your friends.
I'm giving Valois what was agreed upon.
I wouldn't... Audie, you know I don't play politics.
I know. You argue with me very hard to keep the fuck out of it.
When the not Caleb personally asks that the information about a possible coven related to your Human Torch and our friend Dixon's matriarch, I'm willing to agree to that.
Hetty.
A full coven involving a Bruja, a Samish, and at least 2 others. I'm willing to not mention that to the blood-sucking Tremere.
Well, I just need to tell him what I need to tell him. That's pretty much it. But
I don't trust Valois. The Caleb impersonator may or may not be...
Well, it may be Caleb being weird. It may be somebody.
Or maybe Caleb being fully compromised by Val. Either way,
it could be compromised by anything at this point. We know a whole lot of jack shit.
But one thing we do know is you do not want to.
Right now,
doesn't. Something tingles in the back of my throat every time I see him.
It's because he's a Tremere. It really is.
I can have personal conversations with Giovanni, Tremere, Lasombra, for God's sakes. No, it's there's something about him that doesn't sit right with me. It's the fact that he was willing to claim that creepy Ventru is his protege.
Well...
And wasn't that upset when I killed her?
That is very Tremere. Death of a protege, unless there's someone that they actually give a flying fuck about, is like a Tuesday to most members of the pyramid.
No, I understand that. That wasn't the point. It was the... Usually when I deal with Tremere and after I kill their proteges, it's the offense that a Ravnos did it.
No, I get it. That is definitely something that happened up until, I want to say 81, 82, but times have changed.
I mean, anyways. But my point is, I don't trust Valois. Possibly Caleb, didn't even try and do anything to me as I left.
Now I know that wasn't Val.
Exactly.
Because Because if she suspected that she tipped her hand too much, she would be a smear right now. So it gives us more hope that it may just be Caleb or compromised Caleb or somebody else.
That's my point. I don't think it's Val. I think it's somebody else.
Well, it looks like we have a whole lot of mysteries and we have too many
He said
threads
he
and
couldn't
not
call
enough.
Paris.
Well, I got an idea. You're not going to like it.
There's a lot going on in this city right now that I don't like. What?
How would you like to get out of the city?
Where would you like me to go?
Paris.
Okay, look, that's kind of complicated, right? Like, there's. It's just Paris. It's just Paris. It's just Paris. I'm not stopping in England.
I can charter you a direct flight. That ain't no problem.
I have to make a meeting tomorrow, and I have to get out of the city anyways to deal with your dearly not departed Charlotte.
All right, so I book you a 1 a.m. red eye.
This city is getting worse and worse, and I just
Get the fuck out for a bit.
want to burn it.
Go confirm some suspicions elsewhere. Get some decent fashion. I know how you hate, the West.
There's no one on this continent that does good stuff.
I know.
Most because they all want it designed for like a twig. No one actually is shaped like a twig.
I'm cutting you multiple checks. I'm going to talk to my airport guy, see about chartering you a flight for tomorrow night. All
Not
right?
from Montreal. Portland.
All right, suit yourself. I'll forward the details.
There's a 2:30 flight out of Portland that hits JFK and then flies direct.
Okay.
I need to get Charlotte 2 out of the city, and that don't trust the airports here.
No, you shouldn't. But all right. Well, I'll cut you the money. See about making the arrangements once I get back to my laptop. And I've got Valois to meet, and need to make certain things are right with the commissioner's office, even though I already put in the email.
Oh, make sure you let him know that he should be getting an invitation soon. A small soiree for New Year's Eve. New club opening up. He'll probably really enjoy it.
Sure.
I'm investing in the community. Isn't that what you wanted?
What I want is becoming very nebulous as of late.
Well, that does seem to be unfortunate.
It is, because early on I would have loved people to ask me what the hell I wanted, and I would have told them. But right now, everyone is asking me what I want, and frankly, half of them I just want to tear their fucking throats out.
I mean, if we need to, I can help clean that up.
No, I don't feel like getting my nails messy.
That's fair. Oh, Caleb is convinced there are a bunch of lupine that are fucking around the city. Bye! And she hangs up the phone.
Fuck!
And with that, we're going to take a quick break. Be right back, everyone. Stick around. Hey everyone, we're back. Unfortunately, I am zoning out. I am passing out. You've probably seen it during the first half, and I apologize for this. But coffee and everything is not doing it, and I still have to get up super early tomorrow. So we'll just close this session now for today, since we were at a break point anyway. And then next Monday, since we always go longer anyway, we'll go longer next Monday. That's less of a problem. So please, players, pick up the mic, tell us who you are, where we can find you, all of the good stuff for this short session that we had tonight.
Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Build on the internet. First business than pleasure. If you want to see more of my face, keep tuned in to both the former Bird app and Blue Sky to see where you can find me next. And also tune in to Praxis channel on Sunday, as we will hopefully return with more Mass Effect The Gathering Dark. Also, it is the 29th, and I know that the charity is still running for Fisher House. So please, if you can, while you can, donate to that. Because again, having a place to stay, stocked with food, when someone you care about is in the hospital, is an absolute gift. And one that takes care of something that is not often talked about, which is caretaker burnout. And that there lies a number of psychological issues that can then plague an individual for the rest of their lives. So what they do is incredibly important work. So please give if you can. As for tonight, it was wonderful to be back. Wonderful to have Dixon doing his, HGTV remodel of a mausoleum, like you do. I hope, after conquering Montreal, it takes time to have maybe work with Folly on having a small YouTube channel of do-it-yourself help, especially for
You have to put
those
codes
underground
in
patches.
or something? Is there a tech thing you have to know about?
We will let Folly handle those questions. And then Flory and Caleb, Prax, Simon having this, I can picture it is December in Montreal at night, park bench, almost American-esque Third Man sort of meeting playing in my head, which was absolutely beautiful. To have this little back and forth, and then just that subtle moment of hand goes in the pocket and you hear the click of that safety come off. It was. And thank you all so much for being here. We're a live VOD YouTube. The store is nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. Take care of yourselves and one another, and I hope to see you soon.
I think I'll go next then. Hi everybody, I'm your friendly neighborhood Prax, at Dear Gentleman on Twitter, or PraxGorthesMia4. You see me around here on Twitch, Prax the Bard on Blue Sky, Hive, and Instagram, where I talk about a lot of different stuff. And yes, the donation, first of all, the donation to Fisher House is still going on. I'm probably going to extend it till next week, because I haven't been able to stream for the past couple days. Tech issues have kind of become complicated, but hopefully I will be able to fix them for Sunday at least, and definitely Saturday, where you can join me for Saturday for book club, because I have a lot of books that I want to talk to y'all about, some that I think you will really enjoy, and then on Sunday for more Mass Effect The Gathering Dark. And I would just, lots of reasons to get off of Omega, let's just put it that way. And no, hopefully Area Taloke does not blame us for a minor, teeny tiny itty bitty minor AI infection in her system, in her space station. Just things you don't want to deal with. But as for, you can check my Twitter and all those kind of things. I'm going to be next, but I want to thank Simon for that wonderful scene. I I love playing with both everybody at this table in particular because I love how we can all differentiate so well between player knowledge and character knowledge to the point that actions that you're like, well, if you knew that this was happening, well, I don't. Therefore, I'm going to do this. Make a lot of sense. And that whole conversation with Caleb and the way it devolved. I don't know that Prax agrees with Flory, but I do agree that there's something fishy going on more than we expect. I am looking forward to finding out more about what's going on with Dixon digging out his Wraith mom.
It's more like a matriarch was the term you used.
Yeah, I did like that one. I thought that made sense.
Yeah.
But she's kind of more dead than usual.
At the moment, we can work on that.
Yeah, you can. I'm not gonna. Flory's not gonna want to, but she'll appreciate the effort. And then I love how Pope is just like, why don't you go to Paris? You look like you're stressing. You need a vacation. Go have a spa day. Get the fuck out of this country.
I don't think that sending her to Paris is a spa day, though. I feel like Flory knows it. Flory's like, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like, going to London would be bad. Going to Paris is survivable because she has not personally done anything to piss off VtM. We'll find out how well that goes. And hey Simon, sorry about throwing that continent shift at you. Okay, good. We'll find out what happens in Paris. And until next time, everybody, I'm looking forward to it. But I will drop the link again to donate in chat again. And I would also like to remind everyone that Pope has promised a Thresher Maw if we may raise $50 more.
Is that an incentive for us or for y'all?
I'm just throwing it out there that what he said.
It's an incentive to the audience. The incentive to the players is, should the audience bid it, survive.
There is that. But you can check me out, and I can't wait to come back next week and find out what's going to happen.
I'm Trooper SJP. Pew, 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 pew. Today is Monday. You can find my next RPG that you can find me in will be on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern over at my channel, Trooper SJP for the Gamblers. Our Traveler Pirates of Drenex campaign. People are taking experimental, illegal, very dangerous psionic drugs, and nothing bad will come of that without actually even knowing all what the drugs do. So I feel like, or how addictive they are, or what the withdrawal symptoms are like, or what the cravings are like. But I don't think that's a problem. Anyhow, but other than that, you can, of course, we'll be here next Monday, and I'm going to give some love. I want to give my love first to Artie, Pope. I love how Artie was irritated. Like, Artie was in a mood going to see Yuma, and that mood was Artie's been in moods before so far this campaign, but this was a different mood. This was a mood that made me feel like perhaps Artie is slipping a little bit, not slipping like getting sloppy, but slipping backwards. Backsliding is the word that maybe. Anyhow, Artie's in a mood and slip sliding to a slightly more violent mode. And I just still love how Artie does not believe in being a king, but Artie is consolidating power and having people within his domain, giving people places to stay. Now, at least 3 different kindred. Like, he's building his kingdom, even though he doesn't believe in it. And I just think it's pretty amazing. And to see him becoming more and more, I suppose, a slightly older Artie, I don't mean older in terms of age. I mean, back when, Anyhow, he's stressed, and I appreciated the subtlety and the sort of wellness with which that was done. And then I know it was already said the clicking off the safety, that was very subtly done, very well done. That was not my favorite part, though. My favorite part for Prax being our Flory was the lead up to that. Just little bits of like, no, wait a minute. Just little things like there were a lot of traps, is what I want to say. A lot of little rhetorical bait and traps that I just want to say there was this dance, and Flory was just not saying this, but saying this, but then throwing this out there to see, like, I was just sitting back going like, that was nice. There was just the whole thing was a master class in being of subterfuge and information gathering. It was excellent. She got information without giving information. She gave what information she wanted and how she wanted, but not how she didn't want. It was very nice. And Simon, I want to give love for the return of those mutton chops that I love so desperately, and that you just look so good in them. And also, you should go to sleep, and that's me. Apparently, you're muted.
Am I? Yes, I was. That's how jumbled my brain is. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you, players. Apologies for the short session, but we will be back next week, and I will have more energy and not be a zombie on stream. But thank you so much for everything, and I guess the big reveal is going to happen next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
It's gonna be a cake.